Alright, so you can see I have a table full of gear here. Me, Caroline, and the dog are going on a camping trip. And so I have my list here, and I'm going to go over the things that I'm bringing. Caroline's going to be doing a video showing what she's bringing. I'm not sure how we're going to split the load yet, and so this is just a lot of the stuff. Caroline's video is going to be what she's bringing, and so you might see duplicates in my video and her video, but it's just because in her video we're actually going to know who's carrying what. So starting off, we're carrying a 4-person tent, and now this is the budget tent, the $50 tent that I brought on my fall budget camp out. As you can see, it did not fit back in this bag. There is a little thing on the bottom that says remove to expand bag. So if I'm gonna attach this to the bottom of my pack, I'm probably gonna have to rip that off. But me and Caroline might be splitting this tent up since it is a 4-person tent. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I do like the Dominion. The Dominion's one of my favorite tents of all times. But the problem is that the dog and me and Caroline get pretty cramped in there. Mora's gotten to be 70 pounds now. She's a little over 70 pounds. And so having that large dog with me and her in there, it gets kind of cramped and uncomfortable. So we're hoping with the larger tent, the dog can have her own space, and it will just make for a better night's sleep. I have the poles and the tent pegs in there. My sleeping bag is going to be the Outdoor Vitals 20-degree bag. I love this bag. I'm excited to use it. Next, we have sleeping pad. I'm going to be using the Thermarest X-Therm. This is one of my favorite sleeping pads. It's comfortable, it's warm. I've used it a bunch at times. I know it's going to work well. My pillow, I got a new pillow. It's an Arrows pillow. It's a Sea to Summit, and it's a large pillow, and it has the new Sea to Summit pillowcase on it. And so it should be a lot easier to clean having that pillowcase on there. Next, we have our stove. We're just going to bring a standard canister stove and fuel. You guys have seen this 100 times on our videos. I prefer an alcohol stove, but Caroline, she likes to cook. It's one of her favorite pastimes. It's one of her favorite things to do. And so she likes the canister stove, so that's what we're bringing. The earth sack. Again, this is one of those things. I did a video where I shared a list. I have a ton of different lists for a ton of different kind of camping. And the earth sack wasn't on that list. And I do have lists where it just says food, and the food goes in my earth sack. I never ever camp without this. I'll try to leave another PDF to this list. This one has me, Caroline, and the dog, and then all my YouTube stuff as well. I'm not going to be covering my YouTube stuff in this video, but if you'd like to see my YouTube stuff, leave a comment down below and I'll do a dedicated video just with YouTube stuff. But yeah, my earth sack, I always carry it. Doesn't matter what kind of camping I'm doing. Food, we don't know what food we're going to bring. Me and Caroline haven't decided yet, so that's why I just have the earth sack. Water bottle. So this I have all put together. And so you can see nothing's crossed off. Because what's going to happen is this is all the stuff that is in my video. I'm going to clear the table. Caroline's going to do a video with what she's actually bringing. And then when the videos are done, that's when we're going to add everything to the table, and we'll actually cross it off from there as soon as we get it together. And when that happens, this won't be like this. I'll make sure to separate all these things. So I have a water bottle, I have my nesting cup, I have the wood burning stove, I have a lid to the nesting cup, and then I have my collapsible measuring cup that fits in there. And the reason I like to spread it all out is because you can assume the measuring cup's in there and then you end up forgetting it. So I rather just have it all spread out and know exactly what I have. So I prefer that. So I have all that stuff. Spoon, spork, and fork. I have this new UCO switch, I think it's called. It's a fork, a spoon, and a knife, and then you can put them together, and then you have a long-handled spoon or a long-handled fork. And so I'm excited to test this out. The issue is I don't have good luck with plastic. The light my fire plastic, a lot of other plastic utensils, I always seem to break them. And so I am bringing a titanium long-handled spork and spoon. They weigh nothing, so I might as well bring both. And this is just a backup. If this thing is to break, or if it doesn't work as well as we intend it to, we have backup utensils. Mountain Dew. I don't have Mountain Dew on the table, but you know it's coming with. So next is the Sawyer filter. I'm bringing the Sawyer Squeeze, the large one. I'm not bringing the Sawyer Mini. I like the bigger one better. It's easier to use. It's got a better flow rate, and I like it. I prefer it over the Mini. The dirty water bag, I'm not bringing a Sawyer bag this time. I'm bringing the Knock Outdoors bag. So with that Sawyer bag, I gotta run it through the water a bunch of times to try to fill it up. Where this one has a big opening in the back. So hopefully I can just scoop up a ton of water and then close this up, and then it has the same opening as like a 2-liter pop bottle or whatever you need for the Sawyer system. So I should be able to squeeze all this in, and it takes up much less space. It's way more durable, and it should be a lot easier to use. And so hopefully this performs as well as I hope it will. The knife that I'm bringing is the Stolberg Steel custom knife that I had made. I'm really excited to get this out in the woods. My fire bag, I'm not going to open any of my bags because I already went through and made sure everything's in there, so now I'm not going to open them. They just are what they are. One thing I am going to mention though is a lot of people were going through my list and they noticed like my sail needle and my whistle and all these things, and like, do you really need that stuff on every single trip? And to be honest with you, that list that I shared, almost half of what I bring is in these 3 pouches here. And so I don't pack a sail needle, I don't pack an awl, I don't pack all this stuff. It's just in here already. And so I don't go through these pouches and pick and choose and leave this stuff at home for this trip and then add this stuff for that trip. They're just always the same. And so I don't pack that stuff. It's in these pouches, and I always pack these pouches. They're always ready to go. And it doesn't matter if I'm going out for 1 night or 1 week. They are always the same. It's just the quantity of the things might change a little bit, but the contents is always the same. Fire bag. Possibles pouch is my gray one. Hygiene is my camouflage one. Backpack, I'm bringing my Kelty Coyote 80. It's my favorite backpack that I own. Permethrin and bug spray. So I got permethrin. I got bug spray, Maxi Deet, Sawyer Maxi Deet. This is my favorite stuff. It's the only stuff that works here in Minnesota. And permethrin I usually bring with me so that I can treat my shelter. I can treat different things. I usually do it while I'm out camping. I usually don't do it at home. But on this trip, I think I'm going to leave it at home just because I'm bringing the budget tent, which I don't think I'm going to use a lot this summer. So I don't want to waste permethrin treating it, even though, just because I'm going to use it once, maybe twice. So I'm not going to bring it this time, but next time I'll probably bring it. Gloves, I have mechanics leather gloves, and I attach them to a carabiner just to keep them together. Hat, I'm just going to bring my Wolfpack Woodcraft hat. rain poncho. I have a Frog Togs rain poncho. I prefer ponchos over rain jackets. They're just a lot more versatile. I can cover myself, I can cover my pack, I can use it as a tarp. I prefer ponchos to rain jackets. My down jacket, I have that. So this packs into this small little pouch here. And if I get cold, I can put this on. It's very warm. Wool socks. I have my Darn Tough socks, so I'm going to be wearing a pair. Then I'm going to bring an extra pair just in case. Shirts, shorts, and pants. I'm just bringing long johns. I'm bringing pants, shirt, long johns. We're just going on an overnighter, so I'm going to be wearing the clothes that I'm wearing. And then if I get cold, I can put these on underneath it. And then I do have a pair of extra underwear just in case. 550 cords in my possibles pouch, which brings up a point. So I have 25 feet of paracord in my possibles pouch. The reason that I have it on here as well is because I might want to bring extra. I might want to bring... my possibles pouch is more of like an emergency, I forgot or whatever. If I plan on making a tarp shelter or I plan on making something where I need cordage, I usually bring extra cordage. So I have it in my possibles pouch, but if I want to bring more, that's why it's on its own line. Same with my compasses. Sometimes I don't want my compass in my pouch. Sometimes I want it in my pocket or on my person, or I want it in the top lid of my back so I can get to it a lot faster than if it's in my possibles pouch. So that's why that stuff has its own line. It's not because I carry multiples. It's just that sometimes I want to move it from my pouch to somewhere else. Flashlight, I'm going to bring the TC20. I really like this light. It's super bright. It's small, compact. It's a little heavy, but I love it, so I'm bringing it. Headlamp, I'm bringing the Princeton Tech headlamp. I'm not really a headlamp guy, but I'm bringing it. If I need it, I have it, but more than likely it's just going to stay in my pack the whole trip. The lantern I'm bringing is the Lucy light. It's the same light I bring with me on pretty much every trip. Gorilla tape, again, is in my possibles pouch. Sometimes I bring a whole roll and I just smush it if I want to bring extra Gorilla tape. Shamog, I always bring a Shamog. Usually, depending on the temperature, it might get cold. And so I like to, when I sleep, I like to wrap it around my neck. The baffles in my sleeping bag aren't always the thickest and they don't really seal that well. So being able to wrap this around my neck and keep the heat in, I really like that. Sometimes I use it to wipe the sweat off. Sometimes I use it to dip in the water and cool off. There's 100 things you can use this thing for. So I always bring it. Next is my comfort items. On this trip I am bringing a chair. I'm not a lightweight backpacker. I like to be comfortable. I would rather have a hard hike with lots of gear and a comfortable camping experience than go ultra light and hike easy and have a rougher camp out. I'm all about comfort. If you are comfortable in the woods, that's what it's all about. I don't like to go out and suffer. I suffer enough in the real world. I don't want to do it in the woods too. The other one is a towel. I'm bringing the Country Bound towels. I did a review on these a long time ago. These are my favorite towels. I like that there's 3 of them in here. You have the body towel, the hand towel, and then the little rag. It's just nice. And then because there is 3 of them, if the dog gets muddy or if the dog needs to dry off before she comes into the tent, I can use that hand towel or that rag and still have the body towel for me or Caroline. So I like that a lot. And then the last comfort item is my book. This is something that every time I bring a book, I never read it. And every time I don't bring a book, I wish I had a book. And so I'm bringing the Wilderness Survival Guide. It's 365 tips for staying alive in the woods. It's small, compact. It's not going to take up a lot of room, but it's also not a chapter book. So you don't have to dedicate a lot of time to it. It's just a bunch of little tips. So hopefully I read it, you know, because I won't have to dedicate a whole 20 minutes to read a whole chapter. I can just read a couple tips here and there. And so yeah, hopefully I actually read it. And then last is my YouTube stuff, which I don't have on the table because I don't think any of you are interested in my camera gear and all the stuff that it takes to make these videos in the woods. If you are, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll make a dedicated video just on the camera equipment. I bring a lot of camera equipment. I like to bring my DSLR. I like to try to make the best videos I can while I'm out there, and so I try to bring the best equipment I can. And so I can do a video on that if you are interested. But for the most part, that's all that I'm bringing. And Caroline's list is very short. Like I said, this is the main majority of it. And then she will add in her clothes and her gear. And then we'll divvy up this stuff between us depending on how much weight she has, how much weight I have, and so on. And so her video might have some of the same things in it, but it's because that's what she's actually carrying. So in that video, you'll be able to tell if she's carrying that, I'm not. So make sure to click on the video over here. YouTube thinks that you're probably gonna like that video better than this video. So click on it and I'll see you over there. Thanks, guys.